Okay, today we have a Sony cassette deck without any line fuse in it for overcurrent protection. You can see the power comes in, goes up to the board where the switch is. There's no fuse, and the red and the white come back to the power transformer, and there is no overcurrent protection. Okay, so first we'll drill our hole here. And we'll put it right here. We'll use a bigger bit to remove any of the looser grooves. Do the same on the bottom to remove all the grooves. Okay, so we'll put our fuse on the, see the wire, the black coming in, the white coming in. The white is the neutral, the black is the live. So we're going to go ahead and put the fuse on the red side here. So we're going to clip this red wire. We'll move this out of the way up here. Clean our tip. We'll just tin it very, very little here. And we'll take this wire off without burning anything. There. We got that wire off. This is a solder pump. We'll clean up any excess solder with it. Be careful not to burn anything. There, we got our terminal nice and clean there. Okay, so we'll get our fuse block out. This is the fuse block we're going to be using. See how these terminals come through on the block here? We're going to use a piece of PVC meant for isolating electrical components to separate that. And we'll use our 18 gauge wire here. Okay, I'll move this over a minute here. I'm going to take our sandpaper here and just sand this edge down a little bit on the, not the edge, but the terminal here, so we get a nice flow of solder on it. So that will give us a nice flow of solder. We're going to use some rosin flux. This thing is tight. There it goes. We'll strip our piece of 18 gauge wire here. This is rosin core solder. Never use acid flux on electrical or electronics. Okay, so I'm going to put this wire in. Make sure all my strands go through the hole. I'll take these pliers here, I'll squeeze down and curve that up. I'll put some solder on the iron, get some flux, put it on the wire here. Get some on the bottom, on the top. And this is called a drop solder. I heat the wire and the terminal. I'm going to put a little more on there. I'm going to put a little more flux on there so it's a good solder joint. There we go. Well, it looks a little grainy on the back, so I'm going to take and put a little more flux. I'm going to go on here and on here, and I'll just reheat it again. Got to get a nice flow through. Boy, there we go. There we go. We got a nice, good flow of solder there. Okay, so now we're ready to do this end. Same thing, we'll go in through the hole. I'm going to turn it over and just make sure all my strands are through. All the strands are through the hole. So I will take the pliers and push down. And this is a lighter wire, so I'm not going to need to use the pliers on the back there. So I'm going to just make sure all my strands are coming in right over the top there. I'll dip this in the flux. Put the solder on the iron there. Boy, I got a nice flow there. So this can be mounted down here. And that wire is going to come up here, so we'll cut that off here. We'll strip this back here. So now I'm going to have to take something and tie these wires back out of the way so I don't burn them. I'll just go around here. Okay, so we can get this wire in up here, so we'll get it in here, get it around. It can be kind of tricky getting them all in there. Got them all in, bring them up. Bring it down. And I'll push them back down around there. Get all the strands together here. There we go. It's kind of tricky getting them wrapped around there nice and tight. Squeeze them in so they're all nice and flat. And I'll take the soldering wire, dip it in the flux. I'll get some flux on them. I'll clean my iron again. I'll tin it here. Now Gotta make sure these wires stay back out of the way so I don't burn them. Okay, so we're going to mount this block down in here. We're going to slide this wire back a little bit. Okay, we're going to use a piece of PVC here for isolating. Okay, this piece of PVC is made for isolating electronic and electrical parts. It's nice and long. Okay, so I'm gonna have to poke a little hole right in about the middle there. I want to get right in the middle. So I'll just take my knife and just turn it. I cut that little burr off the bottom there so it's a nice even cut. Now I like to put electrical tape across the bottom of this just to give it a little extra protection. Okay, so we can just clip off the excess here. And we'll poke a hole through our extra protection there at the tape. Okay, so now we can put this down here. Put our screw through the fuse block. We'll put a washer on the bottom of the block here just so it looks good. I'll get nice and snug here. Okay, I'll get this lined up so it's straight. I'll get the fuse block lined up so it's all nice and straight. I want it perfectly straight so it looks like factory work. Tighten that up. We'll put our 1/2 amp fuse in. And now there is overcurrent protection inside this unit. Otherwise, the unit is only protected by the house fuse. And see how big the filament is inside this? If something were to short out in the cassette deck, it would take a long time to melt that filament. And I'll show you the filament of the fuse we just put in. This is a 20 amp house fuse. See the very fine filament in there? So if one of those diodes go bad in here, which are right there, see those 4 diodes? If one of those short, it can overheat the transformer and cause damage to the transformer while it's taking time to burn the house fuse. So with this fuse in it, it will protect it.